Hi, Brian. So we were doing Lithium there by Nirvana. So first thing about that is some of the songs on that album, Nevermind, which have a listen to the rest of it, by the way, including Drain You is another one I think is actually tuned in D standard, right? So that's the first thing we got to do is get this from E standard down to D standard. So D standard is just everything down 2 frets or 2 semitones, okay? So D goes from E down to E flat or D sharp, down to D. Now, there's no point in doing it accurately the first time, particularly not on your guitar with the tremolo bridge, that kind of floating bridge, because when you bring strings down the way by a lot, all the other ones go up the way a little bit, right? So if I tune this one, well, actually, yeah, I'll do it. So that's D on the dot. I tend to get a more steady signal with a harmonic, actually, but up. Okay, so that's D on the dot. So now we're going to go through all the other ones, and then we'll see how far D is, if D stays in tune. So A, I won't do all these accurately now, just to save time. So A flat or G sharp, down to G. There we go. D down to D flat or C sharp, down to C. F or G down to F. Okay. B down to A. Alright, there we go. And then E again down to D again. Okay, so now let's have a look at this, right? So it was on the dot, so it should be quite a bit sharper now. Yeah, so good bit. So we got to bring it back down again. All right. So now we'll be a bit more accurate, but we will go over it again because you got to do it. I would say at least twice, if not 3 times. Now, why is that not hearing it? Come on, there we go. Yeah, so that's gone sharp as well. All right. So you just need to, because remember, I know tuning is a pain, but remember, if you're out of tune, nothing sounds good, okay? Unless you're John Frusciante. I don't know how he does it. Okay, so one more little check. Okay, so now we're staying put. Having a lot of trouble picking up that G note for some reason. C, F, A, and D. Okay, so here we go. So we'll just get through it real quick. Because we still have the open tuning thing to get to. So, Lithium, here we go. So, open D power chord, 4th fret power chord. Okay. Hear that? Bum bum ba. That's the first not palm muted note you hit, okay? Well, maybe that one too. So we come in here, open, and then we've got, so we're sliding through those chords, okay? So there's the main riff, and just remember to have your pedals set up so that you've got clean and distortion next, because you're doing the same riff, but one is clean and the other one's distortion, right? Now, the chorus is really the yeah, so we'll call the other bit the I like it, I'm not gonna crack, the bridge. Okay, so we're coming up here. Now, you know the way I'm always saying with an A string power chord like this one, you can, but you generally don't include that upper one on the E string as well, okay? And the effect it has, it kind of makes the chord a lot beefier and thicker, but it's just, don't do it automatically, only do it if that's what you actually want, okay? So in this case, he does do it. That's 2. Fifth fret on the A string. Yeah, and then I think the first time the guitar cuts out altogether and lets the bass go. Okay, so that's Lithium for now, and we'll come back to that later. Get a little bit more detailed about it. Okay, so we were doing open D tuning there, right? So we've kind of got a little bit of it already. So now the notes of D major are D, F sharp, and A. Okay, so D, that's already where we need to be. Now that G needs to come back up to an A. Okay. Kind of confusing when I'm doing it back to front here. Camera. Okay. D, so well, C, need that to come back up to a D. F needs to become F sharp. This A string, that can stay on A, and the D can stay on D. Okay, so again, go back over it. It's never going to be right the first time. Okay. So we'll leave that D just a little bit flat, as I was saying earlier on. Come on, get up there. Yeah. So it's a bit of a hassle to get there, but once you do, it sounds lovely. Now, even there, it's not quite there. So you really, once you get down there, you really got to watch the tuning, okay? Okay, I think that's what I was hearing. Yeah, it's got to be pretty accurate in order to not be noticeably out of tune, okay? This one should be down just a little bit. So that way when we hit it anyway hard, then it's on the green. Right, so we were doing, so this is a real kind of follow your nose kind of thing, okay? So all I want to give you here is just a couple of little harmonies that you can do between the strings, right? So we'll start off. Open and 2. 2 and 4, 4 and 5, 5 and 7, 7 and 9, 9 and 10, 11 and 12, and then maybe 12 and 12, just to kind of, bring it to a close, okay? So then you can just like maybe pick 2 of those or 4 of those and see what happens. So, not quite. All your scales, all your normal scales, and all your other chords won't work. Oh yeah, so here's Stairway again. Okay, so you kind of just follow your nose, but there's a couple of little things where you don't have to go in blind completely. So here's another one. We'll go D string and B string. Okay, so what we're doing here is same fret every time for both of them. So we're going open, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, and 12. Do those big pull-offs as well. And again, just, strum away on the open chord and just pick maybe even one string, Anything at all, just explore it and see how it goes. So it is a bit of a hassle to get there, but it's worth it. It really does sound big and lush and all the rest of it. So open D tuning. Now, and keep in mind, that's not the only tuning you can have. You can tune it whatever way you like. open D is just one that's, kind of tried and trusted, so you'll get good results out of that. But, tune it to different now. What happens if you take the F sharp down to just an F natural? So F natural just means F as opposed to F sharp. So you get a completely different, darker kind of tone. So explore, experiment, see what happens, and play along with Lithium. All right, talk to you again.